I just wanted to share an observation while I was actually reading the Quran. This is something that I got from someone, and I think it's extremely important to understand the worldview of the Quran. How does the Quran view knowledge and the people of knowledge? What is knowledge according to the Quran? So we will start. So the Quran uses the term ulama here, and we are going to basically get a definition of the word ulama from the Quran. So the discourse actually starts from here. This is Surah Fatir, and I am reading ayat number 27. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألم ترى أن الله أنزل من السماء ماء. Do you not see that it is Allah who brings down water from the sky? فأخرجنا به ثمرات مختلفا ألوانها, and then He brings out from the earth, some fruits of different colors. So the water cycle has been mentioned, and then the growth of vegetation that follows is mentioned. وَمِنَ الْجِبَالِ جُدَدٌ, and from the mountains there are tracts بيض وحمر مختلف ألوانها وغرابيب سود, and some are white, some are red and of different colors, and some are extremely black. So this is now talking about the differences in the colors of the soils on mountains. So we went from the water cycle to the growth of vegetation, and now to actual the core subject of geology, the study of soil, essentially. وَمِنَ النَّاسِ وَالدَّوَابِ وَالْأَنْعَامِ, and from the people, from the creatures, and from livestock. مُخْتَلِفًا أَلْوَانُهُ. So again, we see a difference in colors when it comes to human beings, creatures, and livestock. كَذَلِكَ إِنَّمَا. Now, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is now discussing the differences in the colors that we find in human skin. So this is almost a subject of anatomy, right? And the medical sciences and zoology, when we study about the differences in the species of animals and the livestock. مختلفا ألوانه. But then what does all of this talk actually lead to? This is where we find that كذلك إنما يخشى الله من عباده. Like that, كذلك, like that, إنما يخشى الله, indeed the ones who are most conscious of Allah, min ibadihi, from His servants, are al-ulama. So we would read it كذلك إنما يخشى الله من عباده العلماء. So the knowledgeable ones, the ones who have ilm, the ulama, they are the most conscious of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala amongst all of these people. While there are so many differences in their colors, it's not the appearance, it's not the color, it's not the habitat, it's not the place that matters. What matters is the ilm. And the ilm, or how does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describe the ilm? Ilm is knowledge. To be an alim, to be from the ulama, is equivalent to basically having the most consciousness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But if you see this word ulama, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala actually addresses this term ulama and defines a quality of the alim and the ulama, but He situates it in the context of earth sciences, what we know as now as physical sciences, sciences about the knowledge about the water cycle, knowledge about the differences in the colors of vegetation, knowledge about the differences in the colors of the soil, which is earth sciences, geology, and all of that, knowledge about the differences in human features and human colors and animals, so zoology and human anatomy, etc. And then He says these are the ulama, and amongst these people, the ones who are the most conscious of God are those who are the ulama. But again, we see that the word ulama actually appears in the context, is situated in the context of worldly or secular, what we call secular or physical sciences. But then as we move on, then there is a mention of the religious viewpoint as well. إن الذين يتلون كتاب الله وأقاموا الصلاة وأنفقوا مما رزقناهم. So all of these qualities, these are the people who read the book, who establish prayer, who spend from their wealth. So we see a beautiful sort of a definition of the word alim and knowledge, and the knowledgeable ones coming from the Quran, that these are people who literally are situated in the context of worldly or secular sciences, but also combine with it a completely religious worldview. So this is the definition of the ulama, and contrasted with how we understand ulama to be somebody who is educated in, let's say, a particular school of fiqh, or somebody who's educated in aqidah. But the last thing that we would actually use the word ulama is for a scientist, but that's what the Quran uses. The Quran uses this term ulama in the context of physical sciences, and then moves on to the religious sciences. So what we get, different lessons that we can get out of this, is that the definition of ilm and ulama is very different for the Quran as compared to the conventional definition that we have as Muslims today. So that tells us how far we've actually come from the Quranic viewpoint. And number two is this beautiful amalgamation, this beautiful meeting of the seas that we find in this word ulama. The alim is the one who actually brings together his or her knowledge of the world, the physical world, the signs that are present in the universe, with the signs that are present in the kitab, that is the book of Allah. So this is the essence of the two book theory, which says, which is actually used by many Muslim scholars, that just like the Quran is a book of ayat, similarly the universe is the book of the ayat of Allah, and these are like two revelations from Allah. And the alim is the one who masters, who tries to understand, who studies both these books, the universe as well as the holy scriptures, which is the Quran. So this is a very revolutionary understanding of the word ilm and ulama, and I think we should go back to the message of the Quran that calls for a unification of the physical sciences with the religious sciences, and this idea of educating our Muslims with both religious knowledge as well as knowledge that comes from the physical universe, from the earth, from human anatomy, let's say, from physiology, from geology, from the earth sciences, from every sort of study of the world, inshallah.